I am Keeyah Johnson. I work in all things PR and events. That's actually the name of my company. And I pretty much help entertainers meet their goals, whatever they be, through project management, executing strategic publicity plans and campaigns, and through live events. And today I'm here because we're going to speak on prevailing through a pandemic. You and I both know the world of events. Literally every event that I had on the calendar has been canceled or postponed.
Exactly.
So we are going to prevail through this thing.
Right. Let's see. I don't think I got any other. And you're in Atlanta, right?
I'm in Atlanta. I'm from Jersey. I moved to LA for a bit, and now I'm in Atlanta.
Okay. All right. So I'll go ahead and kind of go into the description of our conversation today, and then I'll go ahead and roll into the first question. So if you want to be truly happy, we have to take our life into our own hands and shape it into a life that is fulfilling. We have to create a new life model, one where our choices are based on what is right for us instead of what other thinks that we should do. I think we've all been in that predicament where someone's trying to tell us what's best for us, or what is viewed in our society as a normal or acceptable. It takes courage to change, to step out of the norm, and to be the first in your tribe to move in a new direction. Keeyah Johnson is here to encourage us to move forward regardless if society seems to be working against us, aka this coronavirus / pandemic, and she's going to give us some steps to help us reclaim our time. So, what has your life been like since the pandemic outbreak?
I feel like my life is always crazy. I'm always on the go, whether it be working in events. I could be in LA one day, Chicago the next day. So pretty much that has stopped, of course, with all the event cancellations. Mm-hmm. But I have definitely been here just reclaiming my time. Before the pandemic, I was always waking up like, okay, what can I do for my clients? What's on the agenda? What's on the to-do list? But now it's like I've really had a chance to check in with me first. Like over the last couple weeks, I've literally found myself and new things about myself. So I've been on like this little cleanse. I've lost 17 pounds just during the time we've been on lockdown. I'm gonna give y'all all those secrets later.
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you. I've been really just spending time with me. So I started riding bikes outside, journaling, doing research. So pretty much, I've been just doing what I have to do for me first, and then saying, okay, how can I help these clients? Because if I'm not, at peace or whole for myself, then I can't help anyone else. And I think it really took this pandemic for me to realize that I was running on E. I was living, the career of my dreams, but I was really on E and just doing everything for everyone else and not really taking care of myself.
Absolutely. Yes, you're going to have to drop the details about that cleanse.
I gotcha.
Some of us are over here waking up every day working out and really haven't seen too much of changes. So we need to know what you're doing. And I know it's probably food that's playing a factor for me, but still, I want to know kind of what it is that you're actually drinking.
It's different. For me, I'm really doing like these protein shakes. I'm doing 2 protein shakes a day and then 1 healthy meal. And I am doing a plant-based diet. So no snacks for me.
Okay, so you're just doing like 3 meals a day.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Working.
Yeah. I believe it. I 100% do. So everyone seems to be pressuring people to find a new skill, launch a new business, or revamp their business. I'm sure you've seen the meme that's going around where it's like, if you don't come out of this pandemic with a new skill or whatever, you were never focused. So when you hear or when you see these things, you know, on social media or hear people talking about it, how do you interpret that?
So for one, it's so easy to get caught up with the hype and try to fit in and then measure yourself or figure like it's a competition. It's not. Like honestly, I during this time I have been doing like a lot of self-development, educational things like that. But at the end of the day, everyone's journey looks different. So maybe during this quarantine for you, you need to get some rest. That's still a part of self-care and prevailing through this. So I just think for everyone, it really is different. And social media will have you, you know, comparing yourself with everyone else. And I just think it's a little bit overrated. It's not real. So everyone is different, and just do what's best for you. If you feel like, you know, now you have the time to do something new or create a business, and do that. If not, just get your rest, get a new hobby, do some educational things. So just don't let society create what, you know, should be next for you. That's up to you.
Right. I'm curious if anyone else on the call, have you all seen that meme that's kind of been floating around on social media? Just curious just to see, or has anyone approached you or said anything to you about, you know, doing something that they know that you want to do, or asking you what it is that you're working on? Do you feel like you kind of have some external pressures coming down on you to be productive during this time? Just curious just to see kind of how everyone is taking that as well. So talk about a time in your career or your personal life that you felt like the time you spent wasn't used properly, and how did you actually handle that? So whether it be personal or business, that you just felt like you just completely wasted your time, and how did you handle that?
Now, this is a deep one. When you sent this question over, I was like, okay, I already know what I'm going to talk about. I have the perfect, you know, example. So, prior to what I'm doing now, I was working in corporate. I was really unhappy. I had an opportunity to move to LA for a 4-month deployment. So I literally packed up everything, shipped my car to LA, showed up for an assignment. And I'm telling you, I was the first one in the office, last one to leave, opening the office, closing the office, doing all of that. And I spent all of my time there just doing whatever I needed to do, but I worked with the unhappy boss. So it was like, no matter what I was doing, it could never be right. And that can be frustrating. Here I am showing up to the job of my dreams, but it seemed like I could never do anything right. And in that situation, I had to just realize that, no, it's not you. That boss has some underlying issues or some things with you that she can't, you know, get past. But at the end of the day, I didn't let that stop me. I continued to shine bright. I didn't let her dim my light, no matter how hard she tried to. I just kept going. And in the end, you know, I ended up planning multiple events. Everyone would show up to the events and just say, you know, your presence, you're so nice, you're always so welcoming. So while I may not have received that praise from that boss, the people, the attendees and the clients who were coming to the events, they, you know, saw my hard work and they showed it in that way. So that's definitely where I didn't, you know, use my time wisely, dealing with just a hectic boss.
Right. So what about anything? So before I even go into the next part of it, I heard you say that, you know, you were planning different events and you had great, you know, you were getting great feedback and different things of that nature. Did you take that opportunity to kind of leverage you into a new position or to get you to Atlanta? You know, like kind of how did you use that experience to be able to move forward?
That's exactly what happened, because the position was 4 months. So some people might think that's crazy. Like, wait, you left security in New Jersey and you moved to LA for a position that's temporary in only 4 months. And mind you, I still had an apartment in New Jersey. So I was sending my rent back to Jersey while I was in California, just, chasing the position of my dreams. So with that, when I saw like some of the friction that I was having with the boss, I just bossed up. I leveled up. I met, new people. I was out there networking. And when I was in LA, I actually ran into some people that I was working with in the past. We had a meeting and they're like, yo, when this is up, we want you to move to Atlanta. And I'm like, Atlanta? What's that about? I've only been here to party, to turn up, things like that. But here you have it, almost a year later to the day, I was able to move to Atlanta and thrive just off of that setback in LA. And I would definitely go back to LA, if another opportunity presented itself, but I definitely used that opportunity to catapult me to the next level. And when I didn't know what was next from those 4 months, now look, a year later, I'm still thriving in a different position that I actually love. And I'm balancing my business on the side as well.
Nice. We had a couple of comments that came through. Andrea says that she went on a social media cleanse and deactivated all of her social media accounts during this time. She said it's been very therapeutic for her and helpful for her to stay sane and work on her own pace. But she did actually see the meme as well. Millennial Mama / Ebony, she said, yep, she's seen it, not feeling really creative during this pandemic, and she's okay with that. She spent more time in her house in the last 4 weeks than I have in the 3 years that she's actually lived there. The world is in crisis. We're not home just chilling, and it's okay to do nothing during this time but feel. And Sierra said that everything you're saying sounds exactly like her. So kind of what's your outtake on some of the ways that they have handled, it's similar to yours, where I was asking you the question about, kind of what, like how your life has changed. What is kind of your outtake on some of the comments that some of the ladies made?
I love that social media cleanse. And right now, it might seem like it's hard to do, but I love that. Because now when I'm scrolling on social, I'm like seeing all these celebrities doing the Savage Challenge and TikTok. I'm like over it a little bit. I'm like, first of all, y'all supposed to be inaccessible. We don't want to see y'all 24/7. And leave that to the kids. But to each his own, but sometimes I really do think it's necessary to take a break from social media and then maybe come back. Maybe you're posting because that's the nature of your business, so you're not really scrolling, but I think that's definitely amazing. And then spending time at home, like that's just, sometimes we forget the gems that we have, right here in our home. So I love that.
Right. I had to, when everything first started, I had to get off Facebook for a couple of days because that like is dissertation area. At least Instagram is like for a second and it's gone in 24 hours, or their stuff may never even show up on your feed because it's just the way they have their algorithm set up. But Facebook was just, and then I kept being added in all these groups for like event professionals. And I was just like, I can't take it. I can't. So, but I'm still very cautious on the way that I log into there because I just, that platform stresses me out. All the other ones are pretty okay. I saw a couple people say things about like the TikTok videos and so forth. I'm not that mad at those. I think if it's better than people complaining, online or being depressed or sad. If it's an outlet for them, it's fun, it's positive.
Got you.
I'm not that. Of course, it is OD, and I can't really listen to Savage or whatever the name of that song is by Meg Thee Stallion anymore. But it's not, if it makes people happy, I think that it's okay. It's okay.
Facebook for me sometimes is like, because that's where mostly all of the family, the people that knew growing up, your college friends. So I get it there. I'm like, please don't add me in one more chain message where it's like, pass this along to 12 people. Ain't nobody got time for that.
And Keeyah said that she had to stop watching the news and took a break from it last Monday. It was becoming too much and emotionally draining for her.
That's
the
true.
news. So kind of going back to our questions a little bit. So talk about a time in your career. Oh, wait, no. I already asked that one. Sorry. For those who are ready to roll up their sleeves and move forward, regardless if society seems to be working against us, what steps would you suggest to actually reclaim your life? So maybe right now you're not feeling it.
Yep.
But maybe next week you wake up and you just have this burst of energy or creativity or whatever the case can be, or maybe you're ready now. What steps would you suggest to someone who is ready to kind of take that next step?
I would say write it out. You really do need to kind of write out exactly what you want to do. And that can be journaling, that can just be researching some careers. Find 3 people who are doing what you think you want to do, research them, read some articles, maybe vision board, just get that vision out. And then kind of make a roadmap, whether it be contacting them, figuring out your skill set. And when you reach out to them, one thing that I would definitely say is instead of asking what they can do for you, maybe say, this is a career field I'm interested in, and then say, this is what I can offer you. This is my skill set. This is how I'm trying to get to where you are, but maybe can I shadow you? Can we do an informational interview? Just make sure you're bringing something to the table, because just know when you reach out to people, they have hundreds of people reaching out to them. So follow through, be persistent. I've been reading a lot, listening to audiobooks. Just find something to give you that motivation and that courage. Like maybe you want to, there's always that group chat of girls that I know I can go to and say, hey, what do you think about that? So just go to your circle first to kind of give you that strength. But right now, everybody is on the same playing field right now.
Right.
So you have that opportunity to just start over, reinvent yourself. And I would say use the time to research and just map it out that way.
Right. And ladies, please make sure that you all drop any questions that you all have. Oh, we do. We have a question. We have one comment. She said that she thought that those were great tips that you gave. Question. She says, this is from Shalene. Shalene, can you please tell me if I am pronouncing your name correctly? Because you have been consistent on these webinars, and I want to make sure that I'm doing it right. You got to give me a call to make sure I'm saying it right, because I'm going to get it right before the end of these webinars on Thursday. But her question is, I'm navigating through all of a sudden being a stay-at-home, running a schoolroom, cafeteria, etc. On the other hand, not working, I'm finding the much-needed time to pour into my brand. My creativity is in overflow. I'm loving the time at home and being able to slow down and focus on God, faith, and family. You hear me?
Yes. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
So it sounds like so I was reading, it sounds like with her question, she's saying that she is in a situation where she kind of feels as if that it's like overload of personal responsibilities, but she also has creativity for her brand, and is looking for a little bit more balance.
Whew. I know I feel for these parents right now, because it's like you got these kids and schools and things like that. So what I would say, while she has this creative juices flowing and things like that, I would definitely say maybe try to write it out. If you can't write it out, speak into your recorder, because you might have these ideas. I don't want you to forget them. So just record them, get them down on paper. And then with me, I like to do a lot of steps. So like figure out what the necessary steps would be to just getting further ahead. Even if you got to have a creative session and bounce the ideas off of someone else, your sister circle, your tribe or something like that. But I would say while you have that creative juices flowing to get all those ideas out. Maybe you just have an idea space where, hey, I'm going to get everything that I'm thinking about that could probably, you know, take my career to the next level, bring in some extra money, just get that all out. And once you have it out, then you can kind of write the vision and write the steps and kind of start executing that.
Okay. Let's see. We have a couple questions that came through. She says, I'm not sure where this is from, but it says, how are you going about planning events since everything is shut down? Are you still prepping for your postponed events, or did you kind of stop everything for the time being?
Whew. Now that question is hard for every person that's in events. So for me, a lot of things have been moving to virtual events. That's new. That's a new skill set for me. I've never produced a virtual event. So for that, I've still been able to consult clients and kind of use my event checklist and things like that. The same things we would do. So like we would give out gift bags. Now let's figure out how we can do virtual offers and things like that. So a lot of it is moving to virtual. The other scope of my business is touring. So initially some shows have been postponed, but now since we don't know when this will be lifted, I have not yet received, you know, other dates for tours. So with that, I'm just ready for when that comes back. There's nothing I can do with that part of the business. And then for events that are postponed, like a big event I was working on was Goose Glam Suite for the Stella Awards. And we found out, you know, that was postponed to August. So we're still moving forward and trying to make sure we're, you know, as prepared as we can be for that, whether it be getting sponsors and getting things like that. But come August, if that event isn't able to happen, now we're figuring out a contingency plan and how we could just, you know, it's like we don't know. So I'm just staying ready and I'm still planning and I'm doing other things on the side, but we really just don't know. The events industry has been impacted tremendously.
We're going to speak that by November, this is going to be at least controlled.
Sabrina, as events professional, I know you have your conference coming up too. Like, what are you doing as events professional?
Well, I'm a little bit more on the wedding side of things. My social events are specifically just prevailing woman. So from a wedding side, like pretty much all my weddings through June have been moved to later in the fall, if not early winter. So it's just been postponements. Thank God. Well, I had just one cancellation, but everybody else has pretty much postponed to later in the year, and it's just kind of a waiting game. The crazy thing about it is that most of my events that are happening in the spring and early summer were pretty much done being like planned. We were just kind of coasting to the final days and getting final details. So now it's like we're just literally just in a waiting game. But I still have brides that are booking for 2021. They haven't stopped. No one for this year, but definitely for 2021, they're still calling. They're still wanting to move. I mean, of course, we're not meeting face to face. We're not going anywhere, but we're talking, you know, on a consistent basis. And I mean, it's slower because I'm not going anywhere, but the business hasn't stopped. Now, from the prevailing woman side of things, we just pushed the conference back out to November, and to me, it's a weight lifted off my shoulders because that gives me 3 extra months to plan and do what I need to do. But essentially, and then of course we had our Beatless meetups that were postponed, and those just have no new dates because I don't even know when to plan for them. So it's really, like she said, very standstill, same situation with you because we just don't know. But eventually we will have to pull the plug on some things if it remains this way, but we're not saying that today.
No, we are going to claim that everything is going to happen. You know, in my space, I work on the event side of things. Entertainment event side of things. So a lot of that is based on movie releases and music releases. So next year, the whole FYCs with for your consideration campaigns, that's going to look completely different, especially since the movie industry has changed so much.
Right.
So we're just shifting with the times, and you know, that's all we can do.
That's it. That is all. Couple of comments, and I see a few more questions came through. Okay, Shalene said we did answer her question, and I'm pronouncing her name correctly. Go me. Cassandra, she said, is it best to network alone or network with someone? I'm a bit of an introvert and get shy at times when it comes to networking.
My personal experience, I like that one-on-one time, but see, with me, I'm an extrovert, so I love meeting new people. I can go up to strangers and things like that. But for an introvert, I would say just, you know, be confident in who you are and what you do, be clear. So that'll kind of make it easy. Maybe it's like a little icebreaker. You go up to someone, hey, how you doing? Introduce yourself. This is what I do. This is what I'm looking to do. And I always say, how can I be of service to you, as opposed to asking for something. So that's my strategy, but I love talking to people. So on the introvert side, I'd say just start there, like introduce yourself and then maybe rehearse it, have your elevator pitch. Keep saying it over and over again until you get confident. But I definitely like that one-on-one setting because it gives you the opportunity to really build a relationship. Maybe you follow through on email, then you ask if you could follow up with a phone call. So it's just a lot more options there. But if you're in a group setting too, then hey, you don't know if you're going to get that opportunity again. So you got to make sure you're memorable when you're in a group setting. Like, dang, that girl asked me a question that I'm never going to forget. So I go about it that way.
Right. I think I'm like borderline both. So I think I can kind of help her with that. I'm not good in group settings, like networking, like large events and like, you know, kind of walking in there, but something that I can't remember which webinar we were on, but someone had suggested kind of researching the attendee list or who you think may be there, and then really making a point to connect with either 2 or 3 people at the event. Because it what she was saying is that it would make it more comfortable for you when you go in there. So it might still feel like it's a one-on-one meeting, but you literally are coming in there with an idea that I want to meet this person, and this person, and keeping the list very short and not being kind of all over the place. And that was one suggestion that she gave, especially for people who are like introverts and don't really feel that comfortable with networking. So hopefully that helps.
That's definitely a great tip. And it reminded me, like I worked on an event before this all happened in February where it was like a seating chart. So there were a few people that I was like, I have to meet these people. So I found their tables, found where they were sitting at. And from there, it led to me actually having a one-on-one meeting the next day, to an interview, to us planning to do some business together. So that's a great tip.
Nice. Let's see. We have a couple of more questions. She says, how are you maintaining your professional social media without being able to promote your events or yourself? That is a really good question.
That is a great question. For me, on my social media, I pretty much promote myself, what I'm doing, what I like, what's going on, things like that. So that's what I've been doing. If you go to my social media, you're going to see me bike riding, reclaiming my time, doing my self-care regimen, things like that. So that's what you're going to see. This weekend, I just had my 30th birthday. So you're going to see, you know, me celebrating, well, not really celebrating, but celebrating life, because that's what I was able to do. So just another thing that I'm going to start doing. We lost your video. Okay, we got you. Another thing, you might don't promote upcoming events, but now this is the time to prove yourself. So show what you've done in the past. Like, show some other events that you worked on. Like, oh, wait, I forgot I did this event, that event. So that's what I want to start incorporating in my brand, like a trip down memory lane. Like, oh yeah, I did that too. And that could hopefully drum up some more business for you too.
Nice. That's a really good point. Good, good, good. Hopefully that answers your question. Another one, she said, good afternoon. I hope all is well. What are the steps that I need to really brand myself? She's a paralegal, a model, and a certified personal trainer. She does a lot of networking already, but is it that I could be doing No. What is it that I could be doing that I'm currently not doing? Sorry.
That's a great question too, because there's so many different streams. So for the paralegal, the personal trainer, and the model, I would definitely say those are like your three businesses. So they always say you have three different, or not three, but just multiple revenue streams. I would actually brand them as separate entities, start, a page, a website for each of them, and then maybe figure out what your core services are and how you can promote them. But make sure you have a concise brand for each, whether that be brand colors, the way your page is, what services you offer. Are you doing free services? Are you doing, for the model, are you, having those photos and videos, just showcasing, what you do, especially with like the personal trainer? Are you out there on live doing free, trainings right now? I feel like that's a way that you could grow your audience and build your brand within those three different entities.
Nice. Hopefully, and let us know if that kind of helps answer your question, AB. So kind of moving into our next set of questions is for those looking to break into the media and entertainment industries, what suggestions do you have for them?
So I'll kind of share my story in a way I got started. I'm from Elizabeth, New Jersey, so it's not far from New York. I grew up like always going to 106 in Park, but I always knew that I wanted to work in entertainment. So from there, I then got internships. Like I did 3 unpaid internships at radio stations in New York. I interned at BET. So again, entertainment is a hard industry, so you just have to make yourself available. You may have to offer your services for free to kind of build your following and to get those clients or get people looking at you or keeping you top of mind when something comes up. So I would say stay relevant, and then just always, top of mind. But if you're looking to get into entertainment these days, everything is kind of digital now. So you have the option to research someone and figure out what they do. And that would just be the same thing. Like maybe figure out the top 5 people, in the industry, research them, read articles on the trade magazines. Like I'm always reading Deadline, The Hollywood Reporter, Variety magazine. All of those trade magazines will let you know what's going on in your industry. And then all of the people who are doing what you say you want to do, then you need to research them, reach out to them, because you might find, that's not for me. But it's so many different things that you can be doing in this industry. So just research, reach out, speak to people who are doing what you want to do. And that'll definitely be a great start.
Nice. So now what if she's not in an area that, let's say North Carolina? Just as an example, because we don't necessarily have major record labels and television shows and things like that. Have you seen success stories where people have come out of small towns, that are still presently in those not small towns, but not as popular states per se, or do they usually have to transition into some of these larger cities?
See, that's what I was going to say. If you're in a small city, I feel like you build your brand and you build your reputation there, but you can't be afraid to go. Like for me, I go, even though I'm from New Jersey, if the job is in LA, then I have to go to LA. If it's in Atlanta, I have to go to Atlanta. So if you're in North Carolina, then you go to Atlanta when there's an event. Maybe you go to Nashville. Like you just have to make yourself present. And people in the entertainment industry, they usually attend the same events annually, then you need to make sure you're at those same events and doing the same strategies that we discussed today, like scoping out 3 people that you're going to meet and connect with. So being in a small city doesn't mean that you can't make it to the big leagues. You just have to create a strategy and be willing to travel. That's it.
Nice. Good point. Because you would be surprised.
Do something, just get out.
You have to meet them where they're at. She says, AB, she says, thank you so much. I know what I need to start doing. I would definitely keep you ladies updated with love, Miss Branch.
Yes, please do.
Let's see. We had another question that comes through. She says, hi, Sabrina, I'm new to North Carolina and really have not been able to connect for work since I have been here. I'm in Charlotte and there doesn't seem to be a lot of willingness for women to support one another. I'm older and just not sure what I'm missing. She's in the IT field and she hears on this call that it seems to be focused on an industry that is different from what I normally do. It also seems like this call is more for entrepreneurs and marketing media. And I apologize if this is the wrong platform. And I can kind of help address that. I think that, so a lot of the different webinars that we've done, they have all had like their particular topics that they're about. So this one we definitely talked, of course, me and Keeyah have some likeliness because we're both in the event space, and some of the questions are coming from there because some of the ladies on here have specific event questions. But if you have a specific question about your field, they're always welcome, and that's regardless of whatever background or career, profession, or anything we have. We've talked about women in corporate America. We've talked about everything. I would suggest that once the webinar is in on Thursday, that you take a listen to all of the playbacks, because while this one may not necessarily be 100% everything applicable to you, I do believe in my heart that at least 1 or 2 of them will, specifically with IT, because we definitely talked a lot about our traditional 9-to-5ers, climbing the corporate ladder, dealing with microaggressions, and the list goes on and on. But if you have a specific question about your field, please drop them in the box and we will answer them to our best ability or refer you to the right resources to be able to take care of that.
And then I would say too, as just a suggestion, anytime I'm new to a city, I always research groups, like professional groups. So honestly, maybe there's women in IT or just those different professional groups that have monthly meetings, and that's where you'll find your tribe. So that has been something that has been, really, really helpful to me going into these new cities that I don't necessarily know people in, but thankfully I can visit, the local Delta chapter or a local chapter of some type of professional organization to kind of network and find my tribe. And then again, we have the internet, so social media, research hashtags of your area and things like that. So I hope that's really helpful.
Yeah, and also I want to suggest too, LinkedIn is powerful, extremely powerful. You can literally search for people in the area, specifically down to someone who's doing the exact same thing as you and within a certain mile radius of that. Of course, you're right. There won't be a lot of women who have that want to come and network and different things like that. But in November, we're coming to Charlotte for the conference. So hopefully you can come to that, and that will allow you to meet some other women, because the women that come to our events want to connect with other women. So I know November is a far time from now, but if you could just hold on till then, I guarantee you'll meet your tribe there. Had to plug that really quickly.
Yes. I'm coming to Charlotte too, look.
So now that you've given us like all these tips, all these different ways that we can kind of use our time wisely, during this pandemic, or making sure or making us feel secure that it's okay to just be in the moment, but to also be ready as soon as this is over. What about you? Like, what are you preparing for currently? What are your plans post-pandemic? Besides just going outside and, just freely doing what we want. What kind of professional or personal things do you have going on that you would like to share with us?
So right now, I've been kind of doing a lot of consulting clients on next steps, on projects that they've put on the shelf. And something I'm really proud of, I've had the opportunity to be able to hire other freelancers that may have lost their job due to events being canceled or things like that. So with me, I've been literally able to go on Instagram, research different hashtags. Like, I was looking for a photographer in the area. So I was able to reach out to this photographer and say, hey, I have a project for you. So that made me feel really, really well, just knowing that little old me in my position, I'm able to just bring on other creatives and give them an opportunity that someone, gave to me. So that's something I'm working on. And really, just like with my personal brand, I want to do more speaking opportunities. Like, I always love to help people and, share my journey. So I'm looking to just do more of that. I've been falling for all the ClickFunnels, giving all of my money away, signing up for this course, that course. So really right now, I'm trying to get all the skills I can possibly get on a time that I probably wouldn't have otherwise. So just taking a bunch of courses, just sharpening my skills so that when this is all over, it's go time. Like, I know it will be over and my schedule will be back crazy to how it was, but I'll just be more prepared, whatever that might be, whether it be another position in another state. Like, I'll just be mentally, physically, spiritually just ready to go to the next level. So I'm really just preparing myself in all aspects for what I know is to come.
Because this definitely is not going to last forever.
It's so scary because we've never been through anything like this in our lifetimes, but at the end of the day, we just prevail and we're pushing forward. I love that I always have my sister circles, my tribes. Like, that's really important. I've been connecting with family and friends, so just using this time wisely, just being positive. I know it's hard. I'm from New Jersey, so there's so many people up in the northern area that's affected by this. So just being positive, being prayerful, meditating, journaling, just doing whatever I can do to just be positive during this time.
Nice. Well, I love it. I wish you the best. Do we have any other questions from our audience this afternoon before I let you all go and get back to work or your nap or whatever it is you have going on? Did you have any other closing remarks or anything like that?
For closing remarks, I would just say, everybody just remember that self-care during this time. Parents, I know it's a struggle right now, but find a time to do something for you. Wake up early if it's nighttime. Like, use the time to get to know your kids in another way, like you're spending time with them. So just try to be positive, find that outlet, whether it's music or something. Just find that outlet and let's prevail and power through this together. You could always reach out to me. I'm here if there's anything I can do. And that's really it.
Well, I appreciate you so much. Oh, well, hold on a minute. Let's see. Oh, she says she loves to hear women that are excited about being their best self. Me too. that keeps me going. That keeps me going. AB, she also said, thanks for taking the time to talk with us today. Charlene says that I've been using at least an hour before the kids wake up to do prayer and devotion, and it helps a lot. Helps so much.
Yeah.
Because I've been telling people I have seen my children grow up by like 4 years over the last couple of weeks. Because you just spending so much time with them, you're like, this is really how you think? Like, especially when it comes to schoolwork. So it's definitely been a very interesting ride. And again, like I said, Keeyah, I appreciate you being here with us today. I wanted to make 2 short announcements before we close out. On tomorrow, we have our second to last webinar. We've had 14 of these. And for the most part, a lot of the ladies have been super consistent in being a part. Keeyah, this will be available on our YouTube channel. We get a lot of great feedback on there because, of course, people think and they want to show up for these things, but, you know, these working from home schedules is crazy for people. So we do get a lot of playback, so it will be available there, and I'll make sure that I send you the link to that as well. But tomorrow, we're going on again at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be talking about money one last time, and this is going to be specifically for our early stage founders. So tomorrow is about entrepreneurship. It is about securing finances in that early kind of stage of your business development. We have Jillian, who's an investment principal at Anthemis. They're based in New York, a big investment company there. So I was very lucky to get her on. So I hope that you all can please tune in for that. And yeah, and then Thursday will be our last one. It'll be at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that's going to be sponsorships versus media kits.
Yes.
So kind of going back to that, and that's what Lily Dotsy. I think you all, I didn't know that you all knew each other until I was going through your page. Yeah.
Yes. Lily's amazing.
And so she's amazing. She's in corporate America, and now she has a small business as well. So I think that this will be good for anyone who is a 9-to-5 who also wants to start their own company on the side. But she's also going to be talking about money and events and sponsorships and branding yourself and things of that nature. So that's it for me today. Like I said, Keeyah, I really appreciate you coming on board with us this afternoon. And please enjoy the rest of your day. And hopefully I get to see you face to face sooner than later.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
All right. You all have a good afternoon.
Bye.
Bye.